A couple days ago, I did a shorts video on gratitude, and I just wanted to elaborate on this concept. I am on a healing journey in all aspects of life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, even financial. I'm talking all areas, you guys, a holistic view of getting our ish together. Okay, we are growing and evolving here on this channel together. So with that said, I wanted to really elaborate some more on the concept of gratitude. I actually came to this concept after having watched the documentary The Secret. So if you haven't watched that documentary, I strongly suggest it. I know that there's a book out there as well, but for those of you that are not readers, the documentary was I felt like it was just as insightful, or for me anyway, it was very insightful. And so the concept of gratitude originally kind of sparked me wanting to do more research from that documentary. So the idea behind this is that the more that we can become grateful for things in our life, the more that we can come to appreciate things in our life, we start to feel good about ourselves and our life. We start to evoke these feel-good emotions in us. And what happens is, based on the power of The Secret and the documentary of The Secret, is that we start to emit this like positive energy and this positive aura to us. There's an energy field around us, and there's either like a good energy to us or a bad energy to us. And the more that we emit this sort of energy, the more that we create the same type of energy. Ever since I've started practicing like the glass is full kind of mentality, I have noticed that people just are so much kinder to me. They're more accommodating to me. They are more just joyful with me. And I also feel like I'm more joyful to be around. I'm more pleasant to be around. And that has been altering my experiences, you guys. It's been altering my experiences with how I interact with others, and also how others are interacting with me. And I really truly believe in the power of energy and positivity. And the more that you are in that mental state of thankfulness and appreciativeness, it makes you have that part of that positive energy and that positive aura. And I do believe that that's why in The Secret, they really made sure to touch up on this concept of gratitude. The more that you allow this space into your life and open this space into your life, you are now you're literally opening a door for this positive energy and this positivity to come in. When you are in a negative state, it's like you have these closed doors. It's like you're guarded and you have closed doors that don't allow this positive energy to seep through. So I think another really powerful component to gratitude is that you are opening a gate and a space for positivity to seep through. The more that you can feel good about things, and not only the things that you have, but the things that you hope to accomplish, that you hope to have and wish to have one day, the more that you can think of those things and feel good in those things, it's like your body almost naturally knows to gravitate to that, to cling on to that. It's like our mental health and our mind are drawn to that. We are drawn to the things that make us feel good. And so if we can create those own feel good emotions in ourselves and state within ourselves in healthy ways, like practicing gratitude, we can start to manifest things in our life. It goes back to what I was talking about, exchange of energy. If we're exchanging good and positive energy with others, it's a manifestation. We're manifesting now and opening the doorway for good and positive energy to come back to us. It's like a boomerang effect. What we give out and we put out into the world, it's what's going to start to come back to us. Now, I know that sometimes the practice of gratitude could feel a little foo-foo or fake or whatever, and I only say that because I get it. I've experienced it myself, especially when I first started this practice, because it can feel like we're not being genuine to ourselves. Let's keep it real. And a lot of times too, unfortunately, Some of us grew up in households where positive energy and a positive aura and like a state of gratitude was not necessarily what was modeled to us, or wasn't necessarily what you would consider the norm. So I think that also makes it difficult for some of us who grew up in like maybe a negative mentality or negative household to have like a genuine gratitude for things, because it's not normal to some of us. It doesn't feel normal, and sometimes it does feel fake because we're just not used to it. And honestly, sometimes it could feel downright uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to it, especially if you didn't grow up in that environment and the idea of positivity feels like almost like one of those Full House moments where everything is just peaches and butterflies and pretty rainbows. And of course we know that life is not always like that, right? And I get it. Life can be challenging, life can be stressful, life can have suffering. I understand this idea or concept of like, oh, that's not for me, or it just doesn't feel right, or it doesn't feel genuine to me, or it feels fake, or even just feeling uncomfortable. But I still, even with those those are those negative feelings that would be beneficial to overcome. Perhaps maybe you grew up in a negative household where gratitude and appreciation weren't a thing, or everything was always in a negative light. All the more reason why I challenge you to practice gratitude in your life and push through that level of awkwardness, push through that level of inauthenticity and even like discomfort, because I promise you that the more that you practice it, it will start to feel and become genuine in your life. I felt it myself. Like I said, there were times where I would try to practice gratitude and I just I'll be honest, there's just times where I don't feel like being grateful, or I just feel like I'm not grateful in the moment. I had a bad day or something happened the day before and I'm just not in a space of gratitude. But I can tell you that when I do practice it, even in those moments where it doesn't feel right, or it feels fake even, that eventually I can push through it and come out of it and I start to feel better. It's like a muscle, you guys. It really is. The more that you can practice it, the more that it almost starts to become a part of you. There is an overwhelming amount of research that shows gratitude improves and has so many benefits to your mental health. And I do believe it's for the reasons that we just talked about. Aside from that, last point is you are literally creating those natural feel-good hormones when you elicit certain emotions, and gratitude is one of them. When you can learn to genuinely, so first you got to get past the this feels fake, or this feels inauthentic, or even like it just feels uncomfortable. When you can get past that and start to genuinely feel that emotion, you are literally changing your brain chemistry. Your brain will start to produce those feel-good endorphins when you can genuinely feel that state of gratitude. It'll start to produce dopamine and serotonin. This goes on to a whole nother topic, but I believe that the more that you can elicit and promote those emotions internally without the use of drugs or, medication, or the help of like antidepressants and things like that, our body was made to be able to produce these things. And if we can naturally activate these emotions and these endorphins and these hormones on our own, that in itself is so healing. And I feel like it's such a simple yet powerful practice and tool that we could literally utilize each and every day. It would just be a disservice not to bring it up in my channel, and that the fact that I've been practicing it in my life and how I'm noticing more goodness in my life, and I'm opening up a space for more good and positive things to come into my world. I was born in a third world country. I'm not from here. I've had the blessed opportunity to visit my home country and see my family and things like that. And I can tell you that having lived in a first world country and being able to go and have the privilege to visit and see a third world country and how people live, I'm telling you that in its own is a great experience to practice gratitude, because it's experiences like that, when you start to realize that we are so blessed, specifically in this country and in a developed country, to have the things that we do, that we so easily and every day take for granted. I am grateful for clean, warm, running water. Number one. Number two, I am grateful for clean bathrooms that have toilet paper stocked on hand every time. And number three, I am grateful for safety. I feel like we live in a country where we can feel safe for the most part. Granted, I know that there's different areas and whatnot. Everybody has, pockets of areas that have higher crime and things like that. But I'll admit, there are times where I park my car and sometimes I forget to lock my door, or I don't lock my door to my car. It doesn't even faze me here. Being here, it doesn't even faze me. Now that I've put this on live for everyone to see, I probably should start locking my door. But the point is, things like that, you can't even fathom in some third world countries. Like, there's no way you're leaving your car door unlocked and it's not going to get broken into, guaranteed, in a third world country. Or another great example, when I go to the gym, sometimes I use the women's locker room, and I won't lock it. I won't bring a lock with me. I'll just put my stuff in there. And again, I understand and know that there's a risk there that my stuff will be taken. But there's also this level of trust there that it won't. And that is a blessing to have that, because in a third world country, it's very different. And should I leave my stuff unlocked in a women's gym locker room in a third world country, it's more of like, here you're expected that your stuff is going to stay safe and be there when you get back. Over there, it's almost like the expectation is, if you don't lock it up, it's going to get taken. So anyway, didn't mean to go on a rant about the lifestyle and the differences between living in first world and third world. But if you do want to see a video on that, I will be sure to make one and talk more about my experiences having been able to see third world countries. But it's just a snippet, right? And it just goes to show, the point is, there's so much to be grateful for, you guys. And I guarantee you could find 3 things a day to be grateful for. And the fact, I could have just said, I'm grateful to live in a first world country, which I am. I really am. But even within that, I can break it down. I'm grateful for warm water, clean bathrooms, and toilet paper. That could be 2 separate ones. And I'm grateful for my safety and being able to live in a country where for the most part, I feel safe. So anyway, those are my things that I'm grateful for today. Go ahead and think about what is it that you're grateful for, and start practicing and implementing gratitude in your life. Until then, I'll see you and catch you guys on the next one. Love you all. Bye.